Welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K24 Next Gen. And in today's rebuild, we have the Miami Heat. So it has been quite the offseason for the Miami Heat and their fans. Obviously, we all saw the Damian Lillard saga unfold. He requested a trade out of Portland, ultimately picked Miami as the destination he wanted to end up in, and then got traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. So I'm not going to sit here and feel bad for Damian Lillard. He's playing next to a top 3 player in the world on probably a top 2 roster in the NBA. So I think Dame's fine in Milwaukee, but in terms of Miami, it's not been a very fun offseason for them. Really haven't had any major additions. They lost 2 pretty key pieces in Max Strus and Gabe Vincent. And this team is still good, but I question the roster. So I'm interested to see kind of how Miami does this year. I think ultimately they're definitely still a playoff team. Obviously, you know that this team is capable of come playoff time. Hell, they were in the finals last year as a play-in team. So, going to be an interesting year for Miami. Obviously, our goal is to finally get Jimmy over that hump and get him that championship. And as always, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. I've had a lot of requests to do the Miami Heat, and ultimately, I've been waiting because I assumed Damian Lillard was going to end up there. So, would have been dumb to do a non-Dame Heat rebuild and then do one 3 days later. So, obviously, we know Dame's not going to end up in Miami. We're going to see if we can get another star to play next to Jimmy Butler today. All right, man, that's pretty much it. Obviously, this intro has been long enough, so let's see if we can get the Heat a championship. All right, so before we get into year one, let's just dive into this Heat roster. I'll give you my thoughts on it. I'll give you my open and transparent thoughts. Obviously, I'm sure many of you know I'm a Celtics fan. I don't really like the Miami Heat, but I got to put my feelings aside today because our goal is to win this team a championship. So let's just start out. I mean, good Lord, this point guard spot. I saw a report today, it would have been yesterday when you're seeing this video, that Kyle Lowry plans on being the starting point guard for the Miami Heat. I just can't see 37-year-old Kyle Lowry cutting it on a championship hopeful team as a starting point guard. Now, he did play decent last year in the playoffs. Definitely had some moments where he looked super valuable, especially, you know, as a veteran presence on this team. But again, man, he's not getting any better. I don't know. I have no idea who Alondes Williams is. I'm not going to pretend that I do. He's a 67 overall, 24 years old. He's probably not going to play for me. The shooting guard spot, obviously the conversations around Tyler Hero's status as a member of the Miami Heat have been ongoing for years. Always feels like there's a trade package with his name in it. Ultimately, just never really ends up happening. But he's a former 6th man of the year. He's an 83 overall, 23 years old. He progresses relatively well in 2K. In all likelihood, could be here the entire video. I don't know. We're going to go year to year with him. Josh Richardson is here. He was one of, I guess, their marquee pickups this offseason. Again, I mean, obviously him and Thomas Bryant were the 2 main players they brought in. And losing Gabe Vincent and Max Strus, I think, is going to hurt more than some people realize. So we'll see. RJ Hampton signed with this team on a two-way deal. Justin Champagny, I cannot pronounce this dude's name for the life of me, but he's 22 years old, 70 overall. Obviously, Jimmy Butler, this picture is so funny. I mean, name a better combo than Jimmy Butler and Media Day. Obviously did this last year. That's why that's his picture in 2K this year. And then this past season, which I'm assuming we'll see this picture in 2K25 of him going like full emo. I don't know. It's fucking hilarious. I love it. It's just so funny. But he's a 95 overall. He's 34 years old. I'm hoping we don't see a ton of regression. Obviously, one of the best players in all of basketball. Duncan Robinson is here. Probably going to fill that I cannot fucking speak. Fill that void that Max Strus left. I cannot fucking speak today. Jamal Cain here as well in terms of the power forward spot. Caleb Martin obviously emerged quite a bit last year in the playoffs, especially against my Celtics. He turned into prime Kobe, and it hurt me very, very deeply. Kevin Love is here. He's 35, obviously still a relatively good stretch floor. One of the best passing big men I've ever seen. Nikola Jovic is here. I definitely expect him to see more playing time this year. And Jaime Jaquez Jr., Triple J, or the Miami Heat version of Triple J. These 2 guys are obviously 2 of the young, promising players that are in Miami now. Any other team, I wouldn't really count on them doing much this year in real life for a contending team in terms of Miami and their development and their culture and Eric Spoelstra. I'm sure they'll both be all-stars within 3 years. Just how the Miami Heat work. And then the center spot, Bam Adebayo, probably the 4th best center in the league. My rankings are Jokic, Embiid, Anthony Davis. And then Bam Adebayo, again, if you want to count Anthony Davis as a center, he's ahead of Bam. Thomas Bryant they brought in as well, and then Orlando Robinson. So going to be very interesting to see how this team actually does in real life. Here in 2K, it's probably not going to be very good. So we definitely have a move or 2 before we kick off year 1. I'm sure many of you know this, but I want to put it out there before we make our first trade. This is not a realistic rebuild. I will say once again, this is not a realistic rebuild. We're sending Kyle Lowry and Kevin Love over to San Antonio for Trey Jones and our friend Sandro here, who I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his last name. I'm terrible with names, and yeah, that's not happening. But Trey Jones, obviously younger than Kyle Lowry. He's 2 overalls higher. He's making cheaper money, and yeah, a 14-year age difference is definitely going to be beneficial for us. So as beneficial as Kevin Love would have been to this team, I have 2 younger guys I want to get playing time to at that power forward spot. Obviously, Kevin Love is awesome in real life and would have been a great locker room guy, all that stuff. Here in 2K, it doesn't matter. So Trey Jones, welcome to Miami. I think the biggest part of that is the fact that we don't have to give up a single draft pick. So I'm happy about that. At this point, I still need to find a backup point guard. I'll check the free agents. I don't know exactly what free agents are here in terms of point guards. I mean, John Wall is here. TJ Warren. I mean, these are some options. Hamidou Diallo. Honestly, John Wall for a year might not be terrible, and we have too many players on this team. All right, can I just, I don't know, like trade Alondes Williams for a draft pick? Anybody want to give me a second? No? Oh my god, this game makes this so complicated sometimes. And I know I shouldn't be able to get a second round pick for some of these guys, but just come on, just second round pick. Anybody? I know somebody wants to give me something. No? All right. We're going to release probably, just go ahead and Alondes Williams. Let's just release you into free agency. All right. I'll take a flyer on John Wall. That is if the game lets me sign him, if I have the money. I think he'd be a beneficial player to this team. And it says I actually don't have the money. $5 million? Sweet. All right, let's see some other options. Oh, good lord. Oh. God damn it, hang with me. We're sending our friend Sandro and Orlando Robinson along with the second-round pick this year to Milwaukee for Cameron Payne and AJ Green. Obviously, Cameron Payne is going to come in and be our new backup point guard. I tried to clear up cap space to sign John Wall. It just was not happening, and yeah, I was getting frustrated. So, Cameron Payne, it is. He's going to be the backup here behind Trey Jones, and it's going to be Tyler Hero and Josh Richardson, Jimmy Butler and Duncan Robinson, Caleb Martin, Jovic. I'm going to send Jaime down to the G League here for year 1, and then Bam Adebayo and Thomas Bryant. So, yeah, man, on paper, obviously not the greatest team in the world. What I'm actually going to do right now is try to capitalize on AJ Green, who we just picked up. Throw Justin in there as well. See if any team wants to be dumb enough, maybe give me a first-round pick or something. Nobody's being dumb right now. How about just AJ Green? Anybody? Draft pick? No? Not seeing it. All right, that's fine. It is what it is. We'll set the rotation. After a few trades, we're all set here for year 1 in Miami. Obviously, we made an adjustment to the starting lineup. Trading for Trey Jones. He takes over for Kyle Lowry. I think it's a smart move, especially for the long term. So him and Tyler Hero going to be in the backcourt together. Jimmy Butler here at the 3. Caleb Martin at the 4. Bam Adebayo our starting center. The bench on paper does not look good. It's going to be Duncan Robinson, Cameron Payne, Josh Richardson, Nikola Jovic, and Thomas Bryant. So it's going to be interesting. Again, I think this team in real life will be a lot better than they actually probably will be here in 2K. But you know what? I don't want to doubt this team. I think there's still obviously a lot of talent here. Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, still incredible players, and yeah, best head coach in the NBA in my opinion here in Spo. So I'm excited. Let's see what ends up happening. I'll see you guys at the end of year 1. So we go 44-38 in year 1. It is definitely not a great record in year 1, but again, look at the Miami Heat last year. Look at their, I don't know exactly what it was off the top of my head. Probably should have looked. That's my bet. But they were a playing team last year, as we all know. They were literally minutes away from not even making the playoffs. They turned it around, went to the finals. I can only say that so many times, but it is what it is. Speaking of the finals last year, this man won a finals MVP, and he wins his 3rd career MVP this year with a triple-double. Victor Wembanyama is your Rookie of the Year. CP3, Giannis is your DPOY. Paul Reed, Most Improved. Ja Morant, Clutch Player of the Year. Nick Nurse, Coach of the Year. So let's take a look at the standings right now, see where we ended up here. We're actually the 5 seed in the Eastern Conference, and we'll have the Atlanta Hawks here in round 1. Here's a look at the Western Conference. Feel free to pause if you wish. In terms of, that's not the right menu. In terms of the stats on the year, points per game, it was Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, all over 18.5 points per game, or well, 18.5 or higher. You get my point. Trey Jones, Cameron Payne, and Caleb Martin, Duncan Robinson, Richardson Bryant, Nikola Jovic. Rebounds for us was Bam Adebayo, and assist was Jimmy Butler. So, as I mentioned, it is us against the Atlanta Hawks here in the first round of the playoffs. It's going to be Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, DeAndre Hunter, Jalen Johnson, Clint Capella. Interesting team they got here in Atlanta. Obviously moved on from John Collins this offseason, and hopefully we can beat them here in the first round of the playoffs. We're currently up 2-1 against the Hawks. We go up 3-1, and don't blow a 3-1 lead, thank you. Moving on to the Eastern Conference semifinals. The Philadelphia 76ers have now moved on to losing in round 1 instead of round 2. All right, it's the Cleveland Cavaliers here in the Eastern Conference semis. Obviously an incredible roster on paper. In real life, I think they were a little bit too young for the spotlight last year. Obviously got their shit kicked in by the New York Knicks. But again, very talented roster, especially here in 2K. So let's see what ends up happening here in the conference semifinals. We actually drop game 1. We win game 2, lose game 3. Tie it up 2-2. We go up 3-2. and we're going to Game 7. Can we go to the Eastern Conference Finals? We can. And we are going to be taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. Obviously, the team that Miami faced in round 1 last year ended up winning the series in 5, and they have reloaded because obviously Damian Lillard is here now, and what an Eastern Conference Finals this would be, man. This is just absolutely scary to even think about. So, can we make it a series? We're 1-1 right now. We go up 2-1, up 3-1. Oh my God. And we're back in the finals. Who gives a shit about the regular season? We are back in the finals. Jimmy Butler is your Eastern Conference Finals MVP. And we're taking on Ja Morant in the Memphis Grizzlies. It's going to be Ja, Luke Kennard, Desmond Bane, Triple J, Steven Adams, my glorious king, Marcus Smart, Xavier Tillman, Brandon Clark. All right. Can we do this? Can we beat Memphis here? And okay, we're down 3-0. Obviously, that's not great. All right, Ja Morant's your Finals MVP. Yeah, a little disappointing. It's kind of been the tale of this toll for the past few years in the Miami Heat. Definitely good enough to get to the finals, just haven't been able good enough to win it. So that sucks, man. I do want to get Miami one. What the hell? Udonis, what? I already retired in real life. I'm very happy we traded Kyle Lowry because obviously he would have retired on us and it would have left a very big void at our point guard spot. Staff retirement's cool. Jersey retirement's Kyle Lowry. Draft lottery. We're definitely not going to have any lottery picks. We know that for a fact, but we'll sim through it real quick. See what ends up happening. It is the Thunder, the Magic, the Rockets, the Timberwolves, and the Spurs. I'm surprised the Timberwolves are in there. I thought they'd be a little better. All right, obviously Eric Spoelstra's not going anywhere. He's the best coach in basketball, in my opinion. And now let's head up to the draft. So I believe we should have our own first. We do. It's at number 18. And then in terms of future assets, I mean, there's not a lot going on here. So it's definitely something we're going to have to keep an eye on. Definitely something we're going to have to be careful with because obviously we don't have, bundles of draft picks to trade like if we were some other team. So got to be careful with that. But the 18th overall pick is still valuable. Thinking we could move up a little bit, maybe include it in a bigger trade. Hang with me. I've decided we're going to stay at pick 18. A lot of our players are either on a team player option or their contracts expire, and I obviously don't have a ton of future assets to go ahead and move up, and I want to save them while I can. So we're going to stick here right at 18. Here's the draft so far. Feel free to pause. You got Bronny James going to Minnesota. I think we'll have some options. I think we can draft somebody young to come off the bench, hopefully get a little bit of progression. I think it'll be a good move all around. So there's definitely some guys here that I wouldn't mind drafting. In terms of like the rankings here, we're not seeing anything crazy. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's probably best to go off overall, especially kind of what our system says. Tyrese Proctor might be my guy. A.J. Johnson also feels like a viable option, but it's probably going to be one of these two. I don't know exactly which one yet. I'm thinking Proctor seems like he has the highest overall, according to our scouting department. We're going to take the risk, and we're going to take him 18 overall. So it could be a little high, and he's actually a 75 overall. That's awesome. That's a day one backup for me. So Caleb Martin declines the player option. Thomas Bryant does as well. Same with Josh Richardson. Obviously bringing back Nikola Jovic. Let's look at qualifying offers. RJ Hampton, no thank you. And then let's head into free agency, where our major free agents is really just Caleb Martin. I definitely want to get him back. Can't just let him go for nothing. And so it's going to be Tyrese Proctor, probably backing up Trey Jones in terms of the shooting guard spot. I'd like to figure out some sort of backup for Tyler Hero, and then obviously Jimmy Butler, Duncan Robinson. Got to figure out which one of these guys we want to go with for the power forward. I mean, Jaime could probably move to the small forward spot, and maybe that leaves us room to go on and trade Duncan Robinson because his money kind of matches up with some bigger guys, but we'll see. Oh, we just gave up a lot, but we got a really good player in De'Aaron Fox in a major trade. So you can't see it all right there. It was Trey Jones, Tyrese Proctor, who we obviously just drafted, Duncan Robinson, AJ Green, I believe only one first-round pick. But we went ahead and we traded for De'Aaron Fox. So obviously that's a huge upgrade at the point guard spot. It sucks trading Tyrese Proctor because I feel like he was a really good draft pick. But if we have him on the bench along with Nikola Jovic and Jaime Jaquez Jr., it's a really, really young bench. So we're going to go veteran at the backup point guard spot. Obviously got a significant upgrade at the starting one as well with De'Aaron Fox. So excited to see how this backcourt kind of fits together. I moved Jaime here to the small forward spot. Actually went up and overall. He'll be backing up Jimmy this year. We're going to re-sign Caleb Martin. Jovic will be his backup. Then we do need to find a backup center as well. So we're doing kind of big things and small things on the same time. We're doing some macro things, some micro things, and we're definitely going to be upgrading this roster. So I do want to get Caleb Martin back. I definitely cannot lose him. He agrees to come back on a 3-year deal. Honestly, Bryant, Richardson, Jamal Cain, all these guys are free to go. I'm going to go ahead and actually maybe not Cameron Payne. I could bring him back. I don't know if the game will let me, but I wouldn't mind it. I think he's a decent option. So obviously getting Caleb Martin back is big. Let's take a look at some of the potential. Oh, wow, we actually have some money here. All right, who are my center options? So those are my center options. I really wouldn't mind bringing in Tyus Jones. Obviously, we just had Trey Jones. But yeah, or I could go Taylor Horton Tucker. He's 23 years old. How did he play last year? 16 points a game. Yeah, that's going to be a big bench piece for me. So I don't know if that's technically our mid-level exception or what it is, but Taylor Horton-Tucker is going to be a big pickup for us. And then Mike Muscala is not exactly what I'm looking for. I'm actually going to get a little cheesy right now. We're going to bring in Josh Richardson on a one-year deal. We're going to do that, and then hopefully he agrees. He does. And then we're going to go ahead, and I'm also going to sign Mike Muscala. And we're going to combine both those players into one trade and find ourselves a backup center. So we're definitely getting a little cheesy here with how we're going about this. Oh, shit. I actually don't have a backup shooting guard. Well, it means I kind of got to keep Josh Richardson. I completely forgot we didn't have a backup shooting guard. So I guess welcome back, Josh Richardson. Completely just blew my mind and forgot about that. And Mike Muscala is potentially going to be my new backup center. I mean, unless I can find, like, Kenny Lofton. Yeah, I mean, Omer Yurtsvin could bring back him. 6'11". I mean, he's definitely younger, so it might be a decent idea. Unless I see somebody better, I'll probably do it. Charles Bassey's actually really good. I like Charles Bassey quite a bit. All right, we're going to pick up Charles Bassey here. That's not the deal I was looking for. Son of a bitch. I'm trading for Charles Bassey. I'll see you guys at the start of next year. Josh Richardson really hasn't regressed, but we're going to make this trade with Oklahoma City anyways. We're going to send him, Lindy Walters III, and a future second for Isaiah Joe, and actually a future first-round pick as well. So we get younger, we get better, and we get a draft asset that's pretty valuable. So this feels like an absolute home run of a deal for me. I'm excited to see it through. Let's go ahead and set the rotation. After winning 44 games, we made it all the way to the NBA Finals just to get swept. It's really unfortunate, but this offseason we made some pretty major moves, adding a star point guard in De'Aaron Fox. He joins an already extremely talented starting five. So obviously he's there. Tyler Herro still our shooting guard. Jimmy Butler still here at the 3. Caleb Martin we just re-signed there at the 4. Bam Adebayo still locking down that center spot. Bench has also seen some improvements. Newly signed Taylor Horton-Tucker, Isaiah Joe, Charles Bassey, Jaime Jaquez Jr., and Nikola Jovic. So really excited to see how this team kind of does now with an improved roster. A little bit of another year for development, and I'm thinking things are going to go well. At least I hope so. See you guys at the end of the second year. 64-18 to wrap up year 2 here in Miami. Obviously a tremendous regular season record, but honestly the regular season hasn't mattered for the Miami Heat. We're hoping this year we can get back to that finals and win it all. That would be awesome. Darius Garland's your MVP. We all know how much 2K loves Darius Garland. Stephon Cassell, Rookie of the Year. Bradley Beal is now in Atlanta after 1 year with the Phoenix Suns and is your 6th man of the year. Giannis is your DPOY. Josh Giddey, Most Improved. Steph Curry, Clutch Player of the Year, and JB Bickerstaff, Coach of the Year. So we actually didn't even have the best record in the East with 64 wins. That's kind of crazy to think about. Here's a look at the West if you want to pause. But 64 wins, still a tremendous, tremendous season. All right. Here's a look at the numbers on the year. Jimmy Butler actually fell down to our 3rd leading scorer. It is what it is. Jimmy Butler still playing at a high level, and honestly, he doesn't need to always score the basketball to be effective. I think we all know that. So, round 1 for us here. As the 2 seed in, oh, fuck. I mean, I'm not saying fuck in regard that I don't think we can beat the Celtics. I think we can. I just think here in 2K specifically, this roster on paper is definitely better. So I am a little nervous, but I think we still have a really good chance. And obviously home court advantage is good. So we're up 2-1 right now against Boston. We actually go up 3-1, and that's a win in 5. I guess I was stressing out about nothing. Much easier than I thought. Moving on to New York here in the Eastern Conference semis. Really not a ton has changed about this front 6, front 7. Really nothing's changed about that roster at all. I mean, obviously a little bit of progression, but other than that, I think we're a lot better. I really do. I stand by that. We're up 3-1. Make that 3-2. Make that 3-3. And we're in these finals again. All right, we're taking on Cleveland. Obviously, we beat them last year. This team is still very good. Added Jalen Duren to their bench. And, yeah, I mean, that seems good. I don't really know what else to say. So hopefully we can beat them. Obviously, won one more game with us than the regular season. We're 2-2 right now here in the Eastern Conference Finals. We go down 3-2. Going to Game 7, and we win. And we're going to be taking on Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors here in the finals. Is it finally the time that Miami gets over the hump and gets this done? Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, obviously got the Splash Bros in the backcourt. You got Andrew Wiggins, Kuminga, Usman Garuba. Added John Collins. Interesting. Jeremy Grant as well. I'm surprised they were able to take on this contract. Yeah, that's a real surprise. Kevon Looney. Why are you starting Usman Garuba over Kevon Looney? No disrespect, but come on. All right, so that team's obviously very good. They're also very deep. A lot of veterans there. Can we get this done? We're 2-2 right now. We go up 3-2. I'd like to close them out. We're going on the road. And can we get this done? I would really like to. It would be great to win a championship here year 2. We're battling back and forth here in the 4th quarter. All right, we're up 11 right now. Make that 10. I'll see you guys in there. Hopefully we can hold this lead. We are just under 3 minutes away of winning our first championship in this video. Obviously, that would be awesome. Not the greatest night for Jimmy Butler offensively. Looks like he's doing a lot of different things. We get the layup to go there, making it a 12-point game. And obviously, this is great. Winning 1 year 2 alleviates some of that pressure. Obviously, we're still going to go for a championship in year 3, but it's awesome to get this Heat team won. I'm very happy. I was actually surprised. I don't want to say how easily we were able to trade for De'Aaron Fox, but I really thought it would have been a little bit more of a cost. Like, only 1 first-round pick. Only having to give that up is obviously incredible. So let's just see if we can get a pick here by Bam. Any day now, Bam. Thank you very much. Just get the pick. Okay, that is just obviously not great. Jimmy Butler through the contact. All right, I suck at this game. You all know that. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have much else to do. Is that? Oh, it's Jeremy Grant. I don't know why. At first look, I thought it was Kevon Looney real quick. I didn't really look too well. And yeah, it would have been funny. Kevon Looney popping a 3. All right, Caleb Martin out here. He's got 19 points on the night. Fuck it. Let's run a pick and roll with Caleb Martin and Bam Adebayo. Bam up to the rim, and I just this new shot meter and release, that release isn't much different from the old one, but that's Steph Curry. That's going in. Wow. That's surprising. Yeah, I mean, we're basically done. Let's just kick it over to Jimmy. I'm excited. I hope Jimmy gets a Finals MVP. Butler, oh my God, you'll love to see it. I don't know if Jimmy's like scoring enough to actually get a Finals MVP. I think it'll probably either be Bam, De'Aaron Fox. I think that's more likely, but I hope Jimmy gets it. It would be cool. It would be cool. I mean, as much as I am a Celtics fan and do not like the Miami Heat, the basketball fan in me would really like to see Jimmy Butler get a ring before he retires. I think it would be really cool. So I'm hoping at some point he does. I hope my Celtics are first, but I do hope Jimmy gets one eventually. So let's just see what we can do here. Last possession. We're obviously going to win this one. Little fadeaway with Jimmy Butler. Oh my God, that's a dagger. I'll see you guys with the Finals MVP. We end up winning it all here in year 2, and Bam Adebayo is your Finals MVP. I had a sneaky suspicion that he was probably going to get it. It is what it is. All right, LeBron goes to the Clippers and retires. Oh, my God. All right, staff retirements, cool Hall of Fame inductees. Obviously, LeBron. Jersey retirements, draft lottery. We're not going to have a lottery pick, but that's fine by me. We do not need it. So let's sim through the lottery real quick. Head up to staff signing. Make sure Spo still has a contract. He does. And up to the draft. I actually don't think we have our first this year. I think it had a protection on it. Yeah, we don't. That's fine. We're not going to draft him. We actually have a lot of young talent on this team anyway. So Jimmy Butler is entering free agency. Obviously important that we do retain him. If we lose him, we're pretty much fucked for the rest of this video. So he has no offers. We're obviously just going to pay the man. It's a lot of money, no doubt, but can't lose him for nothing. I'd like to bring back Isaiah Joe as well. So obviously getting Jimmy back, Isaiah Joe is cool. Everybody else pretty much free to go. And then some other improvements to this bench would not be the worst thing in the world, at least for the final season. So let's take a look at this team right now. We're good with THT. I'm good with Hero. Isaiah Joe obviously just re-signed. Probably just, I don't know, maybe backup center. I also could try to upgrade the power forward spot. I mean, Caleb Martin's been kind of filling his role very well, but there obviously could be an improvement there. I mean, I don't really necessarily need to make it. I'll glance. I'll try to find. I mean, who are my options here in free agency? Yeah, I mean, nothing great. Actually, you know, let's bring in Mo Wagner. I think he's an upgrade. I think he is. He's 2 overalls higher. Fuck it. Let's just bring in Mo Wagner. All right, I'll see you guys with some trade. We pulled off another trade with the Kings. We added Keegan Murray. We sent Caleb Martin. Who else did we send? Charles Bassey and 2 future first, and we went ahead and we acquired Keegan Murray. He's a little bit younger. I'm not saying there was going to be regression or anything on Caleb Martin, but I don't know. I don't like leaving teams identical year after year. So excited to have Keegan Murray here. Obviously can space the floor a little bit as well. So excited. I'll see you guys at the start of the 3rd and final year. Last season, we finally got over that hump and won it all. 64 regular season wins en route to a championship against the Golden State Warriors. I'm obviously feeling great right now. We didn't make many changes to this roster. Went ahead and swapped out Caleb Martin, added Keegan Murray to this team. Excited to see what he can bring. Hopefully it ends up not biting me in the ass. I mean, Caleb Martin's very important, so we'll see. It's De'Aaron Fox, Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, Keegan Murray, Bam Adebayo. Unfortunate we're seeing a little bit of regression here on Jimmy Butler. It is what it is. The man's 36 years old. Cut him some slack. Taylor Horton Tucker, Isaiah Joe, Mo Wagner, Jaime Jaquez Jr., and Nikola Jovic. So very excited to see what this team can do. I'm hoping for back-to-back championships. I'll see you guys at the end of year 3. We go 60-22 to wrap up our final season here in Miami. Obviously, that's 4 wins less than last year. I'm never going to complain about a 60-plus win season. Luka Doncic is your MVP. Cooper Flagg, Rookie of the Year. He is a Houston Rocket. Anthony Simons coming off the bench, averaging 21. Good for you. Evan Mobley is your DPOY. DJ Wagner, Most Improved. Damian Lillard, Clutch Player of the Year. Eric Spoelstra, Coach of the Year. So it appears we have the best record in the league. Typically, that's the only way you get Coach of the Year here in 2K anyways. And yes, we did. Let's take a look at the stats on the season, see who averaged what in terms of points per game. Aaron Fox, Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo. Keegan Murray obviously scoring the ball a little bit. He's going to, spread out the scoring a little bit. Bam led us in boards and assists was De'Aaron Fox. So we're 1 seed again. That's obviously awesome. We have the Philadelphia 76ers here in the first round. They have made some serious changes to this roster. They added Lonzo Ball, Lowry Markkanen, Miles Bridges. That's a good team, especially for a play-in squad. All right. We are currently up 3-0, though, so I guess it does not matter, and we sweep. Moving on to the Toronto Raptors here in round 2. Cole Anthony, OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, Siakam, Jakob Poeltl, Ida Clint Capella, Grady Dick, Christian Koloko, Jalen Smith. I don't really think this team. Yeah, okay. Pistons here in the Eastern Conference Finals. Added Kawhi Leonard. Interesting. Young up-and-coming group, really, besides Kawhi Leonard, and I think they're obviously good, and Kawhi definitely would help, but I think we're just way better at this point in time. I do. We are currently 2-2 with them, though, so a little bit of a series here, and we are going to Game 7, and we fucking lose! Wow. All right. Wow, we lost. It would have been fun to play the Trailblazers, too. Oh, wow. All right, let's just sim through this real quick. Blazers go on to win it all. Scoot Henderson's your final MVP. What a funny way to end the video. All right, man. Obviously, it would have been cool to win more than one. Maybe I shouldn't have traded Caleb Martin. I don't really know. It is what it is. You live and you learn. But we did get a championship for you here in Miami. I'm very happy that we did that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like down below. That would obviously be awesome. Of course, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. And that's pretty much all I got for you. Hope you guys enjoyed. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.